Okay, cool.
Welcome back to your favorite crypto podcast, Sometimes Crypto.
The Unscripted Crypto Podcast.
Hey, yo. We have
another great episode.
I don't know about great yet. We'll find out if it's great.
We'll see if it's great.
We'll see what happens.
We never know.
It might be great. It might not be great. But it's an episode.
We hope you enjoy it. But yeah, what are we talking about today, William?
What?
What are we talking about today?
I don't know.
Oh,
I'm kidding. It was a jokies. Talking about exchange, the history of exchanges.
Where they started.
Where they're
going.
What happened in the middle.
What's going on with them.
And
what's to come.
Maybe.
Yeah. Some hot takes, maybe.
Always hot takes.
Always.
There's always hot takes.
There's
always hot takes somewhere.
Yep.
Just so you know, we've already talked about exchanges once, people, on the exchanges and wallets episode, but this is just strictly everything exchanges. Like all sort of shenanigans they did and do.
Yep. So just you want to give the people a brief description of what an exchange is?
Of an exchange itself?
Yeah, just like what's the purpose of an exchange? Like why?
So originally, when
common examples of like other exchanges that aren't necessarily.
Stop
crypto?
talking.
Okay.
Just stop talking.
Okay. I'll let him get to work.
Stop talking. You're talking too much right now.
Get to work.
In my brain. So let's start from the beginning then, boys and girls. When Bitcoin first started, there was no way of buying it itself other than a physical human having it in a wallet and you buying it from them, or trusting an online transaction of some sort, or mining it yourself. One took a lot of knowledge, the other two were just sketchy.
Yeah, so like back in like early 2010,
early to the BTC.
Yeah,
it was a sketchy way to get stuff done.
Like you gotta meet someone in a Walmart parking lot. Hand over some cash on
a drug deal essentially,
and they'll give you just without the drugs.
Just without drugs.
Just digital information.
Essentially.
Or the other option was meeting someone online, saying that you'll send them money, and then
they'll send you Bitcoin,
hoping that they send you Bitcoin.
It was a very it's a trust to trust system.
It was very
like you had to trust everything that was going on. Then the other
something that goes completely against
what exactly. And the other way was mining it. So we progressed to the ability to be able to transact and buy Bitcoin from what is called an exchange, just a party that holds that asset. There are two forms of exchanges, like everyone's have heard, hopefully.
At some point.
A centralized exchange that's owned by an entity, meaning a company owns it, holds those assets for you, and you have to trust that they're not going to go bankrupt, which, as we clearly learned this year,
very likely
will go bankrupt.
They're very possible to
like if you do a run on an exchange, they might not survive.
Mm-hmm.
Worse than banks.
So their success rate right now, it's not looking too
good. And then we got decentralized exchanges. Articulate them words, boy.
Right.
We gotta get them words flowing sometimes. And then a decentralized exchange where it is completely, it's ran by nodes, by a smart contract of some sort, and that people are putting up their own crypto that they're willing to sell for essentially other cryptos.
Yep.
And
so just to like kind of like touch back, an exchange is just a place that people could go to exchange, to like switch one currency for another. Like if you go to an airport and there's like currency exchanges, like
same idea.
Similar, right?
More like a stock exchange, if anything.
Also like a stock exchange, like I have money.
You're buying an asset.
Buying an asset.
Buying an asset. Right?
For something else, yeah.
Yeah, for something else.
The only difference between currency and stock exchange.
You're buying a company, here you're buying
but you can't change a stock for another stock.
There is no converting feature.
Yeah.
This is accurate. Yeah. We can't convert.
Yeah. The only trading pair in a stock exchange
buy and sell.
Is buy and sell, yeah. For cash.
Yes. Like versus on a crypto exchange, you can change it. Even though on an exchange itself, done in a centralized fashion, it is they're still selling it. It's not really just converting it.
Yeah. So there's these things called trading pairs.
Yes.
Where essentially, like, if you're getting into a cryptocurrency exchange now, you would start with USD, US dollars, for a currency, any currency. It could be Bitcoin, USDC, Ethereum, Binance, Solana, anything. So that's one trading pair, is USD for like dollar to coin value. But then there's other trading pairs where you could buy Bitcoin with using Ethereum, because there's going to be someone who's willing to take Ethereum
for Bitcoin, and then someone's going to be willing to take Solana for Bitcoin, or Bitcoin for Solana, so however they want to do it.
BTC to Sol, Sol to ETH.
Yeah, those are all
ETH to BNB. Like those
it's all trading
pairs.
Correct.
The centralized exchanges, you said that on the back end, do they just buy and sell it for USD?
I assume, because when you do it on a centralized exchange, it is considered a taxable event of the asset. So even though it is converting it, it could be just switching out one for the other of equal value at that point in time.
Like on their balance sheet?
On their balance sheet, though. I don't think...
But then on like tax
it's
forms,
a tax...
they sell it. They send it as like...
Correct. From what I've seen. Could be 100% wrong. I don't think I'm 100% wrong.
That's like your like kind of like assumption on
it. Yeah, I don't think I am, though, just because it's happened to me. When you convert it, it shows up
the dollar value.
It always shows up the dollar, but no, as a taxable event.
Oh, it shows up. Okay.
Yeah,
but yeah, so trading pairs are not like something that's consistent throughout different exchanges. Some exchanges have more trading pairs than others, and therefore there's not always like you might not always. So whenever there's a currency that has a lot of demand or volume,
correct,
or two currencies, there's more likely for there to be more trading pairs for that currency.
Yeah, more room to execute the trade order.
But then there might be less likelihood of getting a trading pair for other less traded.
It's harder. You'll probably find it harder to find someone willing to trade ETH for Sol than you will someone for ETH to Bitcoin. That transaction is more likely to happen than the other. Even though probably both will happen because they're both very popular. But if you go
I was thinking something like Helium and Dogecoin.
Yeah, you'll probably never. You can probably not never, but it's very unlikely you'll find that trading pair.
To find someone who's willing to give up Helium for Doge.
Exactly.
As an example, there's probably people out there. I mean,
there's
8 billion people on this planet.
Yeah, someone's gonna do it.
Yeah. But that's really only matters whenever you're getting into like the decentralized exchange.
Yeah, because there you're focused on the supply and demand of it.
So, did we talk about like the difference between centralized and decentralized on this particular episode?
Not yet.
No. Okay. So,
all I said was I did go through it technically.
You did, right?
I did. I said centralized is owned by an entity, and decentralized is owned by or ran by nodes and smart contracts.
Yeah.
Not owned by any one person.
Yeah. So typically, the main key difference is that centralized exchange typically has some like regulations that they need to follow for
a lot of regulations for
whatever countries that they're operating in.
Yes.
As they do, like for example, KYC laws, that they want to know who it is that they're doing business with, because they typically make money off of transaction fees that they charge directly. And more importantly, for you as a crypto connoisseur, someone who's venturing into crypto, the more important thing is that they are centralized exchange is the custodian of your keys whenever
until you pull out funds.
Yeah, from that crypto account.
Correct.
From that
exchange.
From that exchange's account. Yeah, because typically centralized exchanges don't give you your own private keys, and they manage all of your crypto under their own
balance sheet.
Yeah.
Until you withdraw funds.
Then it's
moved to your wallet.
It's moved to your wallet where you have full control of that.
Yeah. Versus a decentralized exchange, immediately you have to connect your wallet to access it.
Yeah.
So, and there are relatively no KYCs, but there are higher fees because it is anonymous and it takes more to run it.
So are there typically higher fees for
yes.
The
price of Bitcoin typically will be higher, or there will be higher fees on a decentralized exchange because there are smaller markets.
Okay, smaller markets. So they have like a premium on the Bitcoin price.
Yeah.
I see.
Because you have to pay the premium because it is fully decentralized to cover it.
Since there's less people transacting.
Because someone themselves are selling it. It wouldn't be like the exchange selling it. Yeah. That they have a metric crap. Not metric crapdom, but a lot.
They have more volume at least.
Exactly.
As of right now.
Correct.
Cool. So But decentralized exchanges. Okay, so centralized exchanges are managed by these like institutions,
by
firms, companies.
Yeah.
While the decentralized exchanges are some type of smart contract that operates them.
They vary, but yes.
Mm-hmm. They vary. All right. So, what are the bigger ones that we know today, or how did they get here?
What?
Centralized exchanges. Those are the ones that are more popular. So why don't we start there?
So it would be Well, the biggest one would be Binance, Coinbase, KuCoin. You had FTX. We all know what happened there.
Yeah. So yeah.
I apologize for that. Dings.
Binance, Coinbase, KuCoin.
Yeah.
Those are pretty much like the top.
Yeah, those are top four. Yeah, and Kraken.
That's by trading volume. Binance is currently trading 24 hours. Let's see, 100 million, $23 billion, almost $24 billion, 24 hours. That's a large amount of funds being moved. But these crypto exchanges are relatively new. They've been around for only like a handful of years. The first ones that came out had a lot less market value and a lot less users, with a lot more risks associated with them also, because since they're so new, they had no regulations.
Yeah, they had no for a lot of them had no KYCs. They were just websites thrown on there on the internet where you can go ahead and buy and sell.
Yep. So you wanna talk about the first cryptocurrency exchange with the OG coin?
You can go for it.
All right. Well, the first, like we said earlier, before coins were transferred through peer-to-peer, like kind of like trust mechanisms. Now, at early 2010 in March, there was this website that got published on a forum called bitcoinmarket.com. That's a website that was used as became known as the first cryptocurrency exchange, where people would be able to go there to buy and sell Bitcoin with each other. At that time, Bitcoin was priced at about 1,500 Bitcoins for $1, which is kind of crazy.
What prices those were?
Yep, super cheap back then, 2010. Those people were moving Bitcoin left and right.
So many people hate life right now.
That reminds me of like the person who bought 2 pizzas using Bitcoin.
We all know that guy.
Yeah, we all know that guy. That guy he's not mad about it though.
Yeah, what else is he gonna say?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be mad about it. Like
you're a liar.
He has a good point for it. He's like, if I didn't do that transaction, if I wasn't the first person to buy pizza using Bitcoin, then there would be no story of how.
That's fine.
Currencies.
He still hates himself.
I'm sure the guy still has a bunch of Bitcoin.
It doesn't matter how much you have. Look at the price of that.
Yeah, but you still gotta. It's like
how much money?
It's like you said.
What did I say?
You need to use it if you're gonna use it as a currency for exchanging value, then it needs to be used.
Yeah, I can still hate life for doing that. It's like when someone sells their real estate too early. It's the same price. You can still hate the fact that you sold it early.
God damn it! Then you shouldn't have bought that pizza.
Yeah, you've been like, I should have bought it, paid cash for it. That's what I would have done.
Maybe. I don't know. I just feel like he could have also just easily bought that Bitcoin back.
That's not the argument I'm making. But he didn't.
I don't know that.
From what I can tell, he did it.
Yeah. At that time, Bitcoin was like super cheap, cents on the coin.
Should listen to you earlier too.
What?
I should listen to you earlier too. We would have been crypto billionaires by now.
Millionaires. But yeah, that exchange, Bitcoin Market, what's it called? Bitcoin Market.
Bitcoinmarket.com.
Yeah. Came out early 2010, March. And over the next year, exchanges start getting more traction, and another one came out. These are both, by the way, both of these are centralized exchanges.
Mm-hmm.
The next one, a very big one that came out, was Mt. Gox. That one's infamous. Yeah.
Why is it infamous though?
Why? Because they went bankrupt. They got hacked, I think.
We have FTX nowadays, guys. Come on.
Yeah, but this is the first one.
All right, and now we got the biggest one.
We got the biggest one. Yeah, so originally Mount Gox, which I thought the name of how they got it was actually quite
interesting.
Quite interesting, yeah. So they named it after Magic the Gathering.
Yeah.
They called it Magic the Gathering Online Exchange.
Yeah, because the owner of the Mount Gox domain. Well, the website? Domain, right? Uh-huh. First start off with it being Magic the Gathering for the trading cards.
Oh, he started that for being
for trading cards.
An exchange for trading cards?
Yeah.
Okay.
For Magic the Gathering trading cards. And then that didn't take off. Then he's like, there's no way to transact with there's no marketplace to buy Bitcoin. And then he's like, created that. Switched it.
That's crazy. Okay. I thought he was just like super like into Magic the Gathering. Just happened to like...
No. He it was a business idea. Then they changed it.
Okay. Yeah, so like for Mount Gox, essentially what happened was there was mismanagement of funds and a hack. The first hack was for a total of 2,650 Bitcoin. But on top of that, apparently there was like thousands of Bitcoins that was just like missing before that hack, and mismanaged funds. Like they didn't know what was going on with it. So at that point, that was 2 years after they opened. Oh no, my bad. That was actually relatively soon after they opened. Like a year after. They pretty much had to go close down their doors due to like the U.S. and legal departments getting involved.
Yeah, because they wanted KYCs. They wanted them to start. They were putting regulations in.
Yeah, I mean at that point they had like a good amount of volume, like $5 million was seized by the government, which is kind of wild. I mean, we're talking about early 2011.
Yeah, at that time.
2013 prices. Yeah, at that time, yeah, we have funds are much more expensive now. Like those are small fry numbers.
To a degree.
But
yeah, they went bankrupt because the government was trying to put regulations on it, and they wanted their users to start entering KYCs, which clearly people didn't want that.
So at some point we got past that early stages of the cryptocurrency exchanges, and we came into like the ones that are still around, Coinbase and Binance.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know which one's older, Coinbase or Binance? I think Binance came out like 2017.
Binance. I think Coinbase is older.
Yeah, Binance came out 2017 in spring, right before the boom of Bitcoin.
Yeah, Coinbase started May 2012.
2012. Also, Coinbase was part of those early.
Yeah, Coinbase was an early
early exchange.
Exchange, yeah, early exchange into
and
the game.
They chose to go with the governance and the KYC stuff.
I don't know what you're talking about governance, but
like not governance, my bad. Like legal, like regulations. Cause
I'm sure they tried to follow the amount that was asked of them at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And then as they were either required more, they started to shift.
Okay. Do you have any comments on Coinbase?
For Centralized exchange, is probably the most trusted right now. One of them. People really trust Binance too.
Yeah.
Even though Binance is still not I think the main difference would be Binance isn't publicly traded company, it's a private company. You can't really see the back door of things. While Coinbase has more federal audits and stuff like that. Like the government in this situation is more on top of what they're doing. Whether they truly know what they're doing or not is a different story. But ideally, nothing's...
Coinbase.
Yes.
Yeah. So, I mean, I kind of want to say something about Binance, but that's in terms of their decentralized exchange. And I don't know if you'd rather circle back to like the first decentralized exchange.
They have a decentralized exchange?
Yeah, they actually decommissioned one. So, but yeah. So a decentralized exchange is, like we said, smart contract that...
Move it along. We went through this twice.
Keep it moving. All right. So the first decentralized exchange that came out was Next.
Correct.
In 2014,
which is still somewhat centralized.
Was it?
Yeah. So like they're looking at the criteria for fully decentralized exchanges, and they're saying there's levels to it. So like a third party still had to do something for them.
Okay. Yeah, because I know something that they did was they started this thing called colored coins, where they pretty much minted out coins kind of that represented bonds or just overall network usage, and that colored coin was kind of like their governance like protocol to a degree. But that exchange came out, and then after that, a couple others like. That one kind of paved the way for like other decentralized exchanges. At the time that this came out, it was still cryptocurrencies are still new.
Yeah.
I mean, so there's a lot of like difficulty with like gaining traction and like what's the right way of doing things and what's the wrong way of doing things. I mean, still in today's date. I'd say cryptocurrencies are still relatively new, and people don't really fully understand how to maneuver it and go about using coins. So I'm not surprised that like decentralized exchanges aren't more prevalent as they are, as they should be, in my opinion, because the whole point of the creation of decentralized exchanges was because someone, or at least the community in general, realized that having like that risk,
having a third party control your assets in a space where you should have full ownership of it did not sit well with people.
Yeah,
is the way I think they were looking at it. Like, if you're supposed to be the owners of not your keys, not your coins, having trust in a third party entity to in one shape or another hold them, I think was part of the problem, which as we saw in this year of 2022 to 2023, is part of is a big issue.
Yeah,
people just decide to leave all their crypto in exchanges and other DeFi protocols where it wasn't theirs. I'm not saying there aren't risks to being in a truly decentralized platform. They're just different risk.
Yeah.
So I guess the rule of thumb is keep whatever you don't want to lose, keep it in a hard wallet.
Keep it on the hard wallet.
If you don't want to lose it, and if you're trading or doing something, then you gotta play around. You gotta do what you gotta do.
Be self custodial. Yeah. So you're right. There were like different like what's it called, components of decentralized exchanges. And you said the Next doesn't fit all of those because of the, what was it?
If I'm not mistaken, they had like something needed for a third party that still held assets, or the transactions weren't going to be quick enough either way. Like there will be a moment in time where it was going to be held by them.
Oh, like the exchanging portion.
Something of that nature, or like the buying aspect was done like third party.
Like they were kind of being used as like an escrow account.
I believe so, something of that nature.
I see. Well, over time, these decentralized exchanges will definitely be changing and getting more complex. I don't know if you saw in that article that Medium post about like the evolution of decentralized exchanges. How there's different generations of decentralized exchanges, like first, second, and third gen.
I'm not understanding.
All right, so essentially the first generation, the next decentralized exchange was a chain dependent and was built on a specific chain, that next chain. While that's a first generation. Second generation dexes are contract dependent and reliant on smart contracts, typically on Ethereum. And then third generation dexes would be more chain agnostic, which is what Binance is trying to build, and it's more so on protocols and some type of a hybrid decentralized model, for the sake of having more like interoperability with other.
Yeah.
Do you see that?
Yeah. What?
Oh, like if you saw and like that information.
The breakdown of the first generation, second generation, third generation.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're all codependent differently.
Huh?
Like they all have their own. They all have specific limitations on themselves. One doesn't solve the absolute problem.
Yeah, so that's kind of what I wanted to talk about, like for the Binance DEX. When I found out Binance had a decentralized exchange, I was like, oh, that's cool. Maybe Binance does have more to offer than like I guess I give it credit for. Reason being is because like decentralized exchanges are obviously have like good use like value. But my question is like you said, Binance is like kind of like a privately held organization, like private organization.
Yeah.
So I was just curious how secure is the Binance chain, and that's something like
the BNB chain.
Yeah. So I was like, oh,
the chain itself.
Yeah, the chain itself.
Well, I think they pride themselves on it for being decentralized and not being controlled by them themselves. They are a node.
Yeah, so that's what.
So it depends on how much is decentralized.
That was my question. How decentralized is the BNB chain?
Can't you Google that?
I found it. I found it. Yeah. So essentially, the Binance does have a DEX, and the whole thing of Binance is that they're focusing on decentralization and transparent financial system, and how they also want to offer more like assets and bring in freedom for finance, right? General basic
crypto stuff.
But what I didn't understand about the chain was how many validators do they have, what's the consensus mechanism and stuff like that. So I'm just gonna give like a little quick thing, I guess. So Binance, the BNB chain, stands for build and build chain. And there's four like side chains. The two main side chains though. That's the Beacon chain and the Binance Smart chain. Yeah,
for smart contracts.
Yeah, BNB Beacon chain and then BNB Smart chain for smart contracts. So the Beacon chain is the one that's used for governance, and that's the one that manages staking and voting on the Binance BNB chain. So that's really the more important one. The other, at least in terms of what I'm curious about right now. But then the other chain, BNB Smart chain, is where the virtual machines land on, and that's where like smart contracts
happen.
So what I found out was that on the Beacon chain, that's where you could send and receive BNB digital assets. You could issue new digital assets. You could have a mint, burn, freeze, unfreeze, and locking of digital assets. And you could also stake on side chains. But their consensus mechanism is called they on their like documents they call it like BFT consensus, Tendermint core. That's supposed to be fault tolerant for the Byzantine like war problem, like some double spend issue.
Okay.
The Byzantine problem is like one of like the cryptocurrencies like main like issues, like trying to figure out like if you have a couple bad actors and they're trying to relay, some of them are trying to relay bad information in case of like just try to sabotage you. How do you identify which ones are good, or if you should? And the original problem is like, oh, we have a couple of teams who are going to attack this
specific problem.
This specific like location. But if any of these generals start saying retreat, do we keep on going? Like, are they actually saying to retreat? Do we actually retreat, or do we actually keep on going? Like, if information changes, like, oh, we're gonna lay siege to this area, like this is like the original like the Byzantine war problem. So apparently the Binance is tolerant against up to 33% of Byzantine actors. So if there's 33% of people who are
attacking the chain,
like trying to provide false information, it's tolerant up to 33%. The reason the way it does this is by having like a 2-stage voting requirement whenever a block is being submitted. There's pre-vote and pre-commit, and 2/3 of the validators need to agree on each of those segments.
Okay.
So it's very likely, like it's likely for a block to not be committed. So then at that point it just switches out, and gives the validation to a new validator. But the part that got me a little sketched out was that on the BNB beacon chain, there's only 11 validators, as compared to like Bitcoin miners, there's literally thousands.
And how many validators are on the other chain?
On what do you mean? Oh, so like the Bitcoin, the BNB,
the BNB chain, the side chain.
So the side chain, I don't know, because the one that has to deal with like the security of the whole chain is the BNB beacon chain.
And there's only 11.
And it has 11, but thankfully, they already got they call it BEP, like just Binance Improvement Proposal. I believe it's BEP 159. To try to make that more inclusive. So they're trying to make it so that staking status is decided on the top staking nodes. Anyone could stake, but then every 24 hours, stakers will decide on how many validators there'll be, which validators are there, which people are going to be elected as validators, and
why not just have it as many validators as you want,
and how many validators you want there to be.
Yeah, but that...
So the stakers will decide...
Centralize that.
I think the problem where they're trying to figure out to keep in control there is that Byzantine fault tolerance. Because the issue with more validators is the information needs to be more precise and it takes longer.
Yeah, it can also be more centralized with less validators at 11. They can own 80% of that 11 of those 11.
Yeah, so that's why the stakers are the ones who choose the validators. Stakers are not gonna be necessary.
How many stakers do they have now?
Oh, there's a bunch of stakers. Like anyone could stake. Like you could, if you get BNB beacon chain like coin, you could become a staker. You would dedicate your stake to any of the validators that there are after this improvement proposal. So let's say there'll probably be like a list of people, like a list of different validators. Let's say 100 of them, right? You would be like, oh, I like these validators. I'm gonna stake and delegate to them, in hopes that in the future, whenever like a block needs to be mined, validated, those are the ones that are voted for the next validation cycle.
I see.
So essentially, what I want to get at was that it's not super like they have good traits to it, but I wouldn't say it's super decentralized yet. But they are working on trying to get it more decentralized and more like governed by the community. So getting back to the DEX-ish thing, was that there was a DEX on the beacon chain, the main chain, but they decided to like roll it out on another improvement proposal, 151, so that the beacon chain can focus more of its computing power for governance and security. And then they moved their decentralized exchange onto, or they already had one going on the smart chain. Yeah, so that because that's what the smart chain is really made for. It was just doing it better and faster than having it on the beacon chain. So they rolled it out on the beacon. They took it off of the beacon chain and they kept it on the smart chain.
On the smart chain.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So I kind of want to check it out, see how that works. After they get that, what is it, BIP 159.
The proposal?
Yeah, BEP. Binance Improvement Proposal. Or Build BNB Improvement Proposal.
I think they stopped, they're going to stop producing BNB, not the token, but the BNB, their dollar.
Oh,
yeah.
What's it called?
I don't remember what it's called right now.
Stablecoin?
Yeah, their stablecoin. Because Paxos, the provider of it, has been not sued, but was told something by the SEC that they're trading unsecured securities or something of that nature.
No, by trading stablecoins.
Yeah, well, by producing them.
Producing stablecoins.
Yeah.
Yeah, like falsified currencies.
No.
No?
No. Not like that. More like just fraud, like securities fraud.
Securities, okay.
Yeah, not currency fraud.
I see. Another one, well, really one of the bigger decentralized exchanges is called DYDX. That one's been around for less than Binance. That one came out August 2021.
Wow.
And they're actually pretty big, with a trading volume of $1 billion.
Wow.
$1.3 billion in 24 hours. 56,752 Bitcoin.
How much?
56,752 Bitcoin.
That's a lot. That they're trading, they're moving.
Yeah, and decentralized. It's a smart contract based on Ethereum, or on chains like Ethereum. So it's probably not just even on one chain; it's on multiple chains.
Yeah, it has to be because they probably do it like that so they can trade multiple.
It has its native currency DYDX.
Yeah, of course.
And it got its name from a mathematical equation for derivatives, the rate of exchange. So it's dy over dx.
Okay.
So I thought that was just pretty interesting stuff. I was looking over at their their website, and it seems pretty not crazy difficult to use. They have different trading pairs. They have like a little place for your portfolio, just providing pretty good relative information for
what you need.
Yeah, I would not say that this is beginner friendly though.
Why?
You need to understand how candle charts work and just overall
But that's a trade, right? Not even just trying to buy.
Yeah. Because this is more of a trading. Yeah. Luckily, they do have a training course that they call an academy. For people to go to and just learn how to trade on their decentralized exchange. I like how Web3 does a lot of education for.
You kind of have to.
Mm-hmm.
Most people don't know anything about it.
It's on you.
Yeah,
there needs to be some type of onboarding process.
Yeah, and everyone's gonna think someone has the better process, so they're gonna all try it out.
Yep. So, I was seeing something earlier. Did I write it down somewhere? I think.
What did you see?
There's a little thought that I read somewhere, where essentially, developers and Web3 applications should have the blockchain on the back end and not on the front end. So specifically, for the case of exchanges,
mm-hmm.
The whole DeFi, decentralized exchanges, should at least from based off of this article I was reading, the idea was the whole DeFi stuff should kind of be done on the back end, while the front end, Coinbase, would be more of a centralized aspect. So I don't know how much I agree with it, but it also doesn't seem like a horrible idea.
I don't know. I'm confused.
So okay, so the purpose of it. Okay, my bad. Let me rephrase this. The purpose of this article was to say how is the community going to build trust back into the
centralized exchanges?
The centralized exchange thing. And it'll be the centralized exchange will have its purpose of education and easy access. You could log in with
KYC or your email, whatever.
Regular but give the opportunity for people to offload that into your self-custodial over time, as you get better and you start progressing. So it's on the front end, on the first thing that you'll see is just easy, regular stuff that you're used to, and then over time migrate off of that. Thing is, what I'm seeing is as a business model for the centralized exchanges is that over time your client base will just migrate off.
Yeah. That thing is just to be easier to use and not try to take so much information.
Mm.
Interesting.
So what do you think the future of what's it called?
Exchanges?
Because we took a exchange took a pretty bad hit.
Centralized exchange took a bad hit. But I guess there's just there was actual criminal behavior, complete utter fraud. Money was not being set, money was being taken away from customers, not being used for. So I guess it would decentralized wise, there'll be more oversight, like making sure money has to go a certain way or has to be allocated a certain way. I think this would apply for not just exchanges, also stocks would be how you can limit the amount of like usability for like a company to use your, like, for example, Coinbase owns X amount of Bitcoin that belongs to customers, that goes under their valuation. BlackRock owns X amount of stocks for other people, it goes under their valuation. So if they get to borrow on it, you're able to borrow on it. In terms of BlackRock, you're able to borrow on your stocks.
Whatever your total value is.
But so is BlackRock. Mm-hmm. That's a double spending.
Yeah, it's like
literally double spending.
It's like I owe this money to someone, but since I'm in control of it, it's value that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess like the change there would be which would happen in all areas, how you to avoid that or try and make that add a cap to it, not allow it to happen as much, something. Because now you're going to have super high valuations that happen. And then when those prices dip down, people get hurt.
Yeah.
Essentially what happened. Not only that.
Yeah, when you don't have the funds to be able to pay off your loan and to pay off the people that you owe to.
Exactly.
Because those aren't yours. Those are on your balance sheet. Those are considered what, liabilities?
Liabilities.
Yeah, your liabilities should definitely not go into your assets.
Exactly.
Like that at least.
So it would really depend on, like, I think labeling, how accounts would have to be labeled, would probably be really regulated. And then so forth would be oversight, centralized wise.
Centralized oversight? Or you mean oversight for the centralized exchanges?
If it's decentralized, there's no one pain point.
There is this thing that I found out about earlier today also. It's a decentralized, it's a DAO. It's called the Liquid Collective.
Mm-hmm.
What they're trying to do is to provide some type of protocol for centralized exchanges.
That's a company though.
It's a DAO.
No, it's a company. It won't be a DAO. Trust me.
Well, it is a DAO. It's gonna have some.
It's gonna be centralized either way.
Some type of centralized. Well, essentially, what they're trying to do is provide a protocol for centralized exchanges, and providing liquid staking for their for those assets that you're talking about, for their liabilities. So essentially, it is. They're gonna have staked away the assets that they owe their clients, and be able to access it only whenever the liquidity for it is needed. Like, it's going to be exchanged, so like buy and sell as
that's worse
as needed. Why?
Because it's not you giving a possession to a third party, it's to a fourth party.
It's not. No, it's a protocol. It's a smart contract.
Yeah. It's a company though. A company's not gonna be allowed to do that.
What do you mean?
The centralized exchange that is regulated will not be allowed by the government to stake in a fully decentralized aspect like that. If it's truly decentralized, which we don't know.
No. So essentially, they are taking into account the KYC and AML laws.
Who is? The DAO?
It's DAO.
So it's a company. It's not a DAO.
No, the KYC that they're using is based off of the centralized exchanges, not theirs.
I'm not sure how it would work.
Yeah, so their idea is to develop a protocol that's suitable for institutional stakers, which is essentially these centralized exchanges. They're operating at institutional levels. So they want to offer something called liquid staking solutions. For their focus for what's it called? Okay, so let me just read this real quick.
Mm-hmm.
They say that other liquid staking solutions have focused on the needs for crypto native stakers. The number of liquid staking protocols solving for staker liquidity has resulted in numerous relative illiquid receipt tokens that can only be utilized in certain corners of Web3, as in like relative coins that aren't like FTX's coin, for example. The Liquid Collective wants to create a protocol that is suitable for institutional stakers. Something that will be allowing something that they call deep liquidity. Being able to be used for like multi chains and multiple protocols. The idea is to empower global participation in securing the decentralized internet. I just found out about this earlier today. I thought it was an interesting idea. It's like you said, how it's gonna work with a decentralized DAO with a centralized exchange is probably gonna be a little bit difficult. Maybe.
Well, I say that because the central exchange would have to follow regulations. The minute anything changes with the regulations, they have to pull funds, whether they want to or not.
What do you mean? The centralized exchange has to pull funds whenever regulation changes?
Of course. If they're told, oh, we're not allowing this because this is considered something. It's considered something that we centralized exchanges can't work with. They have to pull funds immediately.
Yeah, but that's why they're calling it liquid staking. They want it to be able to pull your funds immediately.
Yeah, but a centralized exchange would own the majority of it. Like there'll be the majority of their assets. It'll be a run on the bank, just in a DAO.
Yeah, no, I don't like. They don't even have a white paper. They have a light paper, so it's like still like under development. This is like
really early,
like new thing.
Yeah.
There are definitely going to be a bunch of risks associated with this, and
I think that works better for a decentralized exchange.
I think decentralized exchanges already utilize stuff like that though. Like when you deposit coins into like some type of like automated market money maker, market maker, my bad. You can lock it up for a certain amount of time, or like just have it there for as long as you want to.
Mm.
So I don't know. I think that just really depends on the specific contract that you're working on.
Yeah, it would be like whatever's needed at that point in time.
Yeah. So I don't know. The whole path forward for this year in terms of like centralized exchanges, it's gonna be a little rough for them to get their trust back on the like general public.
I don't know. Not sure. Probably for maybe private entities, but I think Coinbase can actually win this one just because they're publicly traded.
You think they'll be able to get the trust back easily?
I don't think they lost any.
You don't think they lost any trust?
For last time I checked, Binance is the one who had like 3 billion liquidated on them, and they were fine. Like they got a little worried for sure, but they were like fine.
Oh yeah, of course, $3 billion.
But I think if the company itself has the assets, there is no issue. I just think the issue comes with over leveraging. Yeah, that's definitely what happened. Well, FTX that didn't happen. They weren't just over leveraged. That's just one part of the problem.
Yeah,
but I think it would vary on exchange to exchange, and then what the crypto market would be looking for.
The one that over leveraged was Celsius.
They were over leveraged, and so is 3 Arrows.
3 Arrows, and then the majority of the other companies kind of just got screwed over by FTX's collapse, and not.
Yeah, because they own so much FTT and they own so many of these other tokens. I think that's another thing that's gonna change. You're not gonna be allowed to create tokens left and right.
Yeah, no.
Which I also don't think is needed.
No, definitely not needed.
I think it's a waste. Like they do that just to make some money. Because it's hard to be profitable and have low trading rates, low everything, and you just can't. You have to make money somewhere.
Yeah, if you're making it, you want to make money somewhere.
So it's gonna vary a lot on those things. Why? What do you think?
I don't know, man. I think what's really going on is the general public is having a sore eye for crypto, not exchanges. But the general public only gets into crypto through exchanges.
Because it's easier.
Well, yeah, because
it's what you know as well.
It's simple. It's more familiar.
Yeah.
I think the exchanges will need to try to like get some trust back somehow, just because like that's how they acquire new clientele.
Yeah, that too.
Like for them to get new clients, they need to build the trust back into crypto, build the trust back into themselves. So it's not just crypto's didn't do anything wrong. It is we're doing everything right. Like actually, we're not doing like this FTX shenanigans.
Yeah, That's but that's what they're doing with the whole verifying if their liabilities.
Yeah.
Meaning how many assets they have versus how much they owe to their customers, and can they afford to run on a run like to be fully liquidated.
Mm-hmm. Was there anything like any government like agency that was like giving oversight on FTX?
What do you mean?
Like, how did FTX get away with doing all that? Because they weren't actually doing it because of Alameda.
Well, there was oversight on the American side, so maybe the American side was doing less of it, and the funds weren't being taken as like the same rate, versus the Bahamas one. There was probably less oversight. They were able to do more of what they wanted.
Yeah.
So maybe one was able to be done in the government's faces versus the other was more so not as messed with, or like differently. Like maybe the U.S. side was over leveraged, which no one will know unless they're being audited every time, which who knows. And then
they probably never got audited.
Probably. And then on the other side, you had the one in the Bahamas was just putting funds. And then in that situation, you can just move funds from one to the other because they are your funds. They're still your company. And they moved it in cash. That's why they have wire frauds.
Yeah.
As part of their part of thing. Yeah, they have wire fraud. They have a whole bunch of things. That's part of the...
Is there a court date set for them yet?
No. Not yet. Not that I know of. I haven't heard news of that.
Yeah, the last news was the one that we talked about, I think, last episode.
For them, yes.
With the person who posted, with the people who posted bail for Sam.
I know who I'm gonna call to post my bail. Some former deans. Who got bread like that, apparently. God damn. But no, I mean, exchanges have changed, but I think they'll continue to just be different use cases for each one.
Yeah, totally. It's like based off whatever you want from an exchange is what you're gonna like. I would love an exchange that just accepts check deposits.
Doesn't?
I don't know.
Coinbase do that?
They accept direct deposits.
Oh, you can't deposit your check though.
You can't deposit checks.
Gotcha.
Like that. I don't know how that would work. I don't know. I don't think people really understand how checks work anymore.
I don't know how they work.
Yeah. Checks are so old tech.
I think Coinbase would be the first crypto bank.
Yeah, I think Coinbase is very set up for something like that.
To be like a crypto. I think that's going to be a change when they go from exchanges to like a banking ability. Mm-hmm. Like you could just get paid through there and they convert it and they keep your cash and they do whatever.
No, Cash App is probably not too far behind. Cash App has KYC, has wallet interoperability.
Do they have direct deposit?
I think they do, but not for crypto.
Oh.
Just for like cash. Okay. But that seems like a hop and a step away from direct deposit.
It is until you have it done.
Yeah, you're right. It is until you have it done. That's
right?
Absolutely right.
Because the other thing is, it's how long Coinbase is doing it for. So whatever problems arises, they already have an answer for it.
Yeah.
They're able to build out a better infrastructure for it. But then it goes to how long would it take for it to clear? How long would it take for me to be able to pull out cash or pull out my assets?
Pull out, crypto. Yeah, because...
then at that point, are you getting double charged? Double income?
No, what do you mean?
Because I'm going to get paid cash.
You get paid in a US dollar denominator.
Correct. Mm-hmm. That's $2,000, and I immediately it goes to Coinbase and they buy $2,000 worth of Bitcoin.
Mm-hmm. So you're saying, do you get taxed for bringing in the 2K and
then the other 2K,
exchanging it for 2K for Bitcoin?
No, because it'll be buying, so maybe not.
I think that depends.
Because I know whenever you receive crypto, you're buying it though. So never mind. No, it wouldn't. Because I know when you receive crypto, and you have to say where it came from. If not, you get taxed on that crypto. No,
yeah. You just if you receive crypto,
if I send you $2,000 worth of Bitcoin, that's income. Because it doesn't know where it came from. It's considered income.
It's considered an income. If you just send it.
If I send it to
you. But if you trade it for, that's not income.
No, because I would be buying it. So I'm assuming what they're going to be doing is buying it. So no, it wouldn't be income.
Like a sales tax.
There might be sales tax.
I just can't wait till people start paying in crypto.
It'll be a minute. It's going to be a minute because people don't like trading things that have a value that changes. Mm-hmm. BTC-backed dollar is the answer.
A BTC-backed dollar, right?
That's the answer for all.
So really, I think that the true answer is hodl BTC and issue your own BTC-backed currency.
BTC-backed... I mean, I don't know how... Well, If it could stay at $1, I don't know how they would do that.
No, just your own currency.
What do you mean?
Okay. So this might actually get cut because this is actually like legit shit right here. This is legit stuff. I don't know how this works.
You're gonna really cut out the exciting part after all the bullshit we just went through? You're crazy.
All right. So what I was thinking was,
if someone does the idea, do it better than what we could do. Okay. Fuck.
No. I say more so for legality reasons.
Okay, we're not lawyers. We're not experts. We're not financial advisors. We're just talking trash right now.
Talking trash.
All the important education information just went through.
All right. So
speak.
Fun stuff. All right. Collect as much Bitcoin as you can.
Okay.
Issue another currency for whatever ecosystem you're trying to produce, backed by Bitcoin. By that Bitcoin specifically.
By the ones you hold.
By the ones that you hold. That will be put into a smart contract type of container.
Mm-hmm.
It says, okay, so this smart contract will issue 10,000 BS coin for every 10,000 Satoshis.
Yes.
Right? So it's 1-to-1, 10,000.
Yeah, because every 10,000 Satoshis equals one of one of those.
Mm-hmm. But then these coins wouldn't necessarily be transacting on any on the Bitcoin blockchain because that Bitcoin is locked in a specific wallet.
Correct.
So you could transact on these coins back and forth, just you knowing that is equivalent.
The backing.
It's backed by Bitcoin. There is no dollar equivalent. It's just Bitcoin equivalent.
Yes. Don't need to be open source. Wouldn't the code for that?
You know what? I'm crazy. That's already a thing. Pretty sure that's what Stacks is.
Yes. It's just not used because it's because essentially with the thing with Stacks was it was meant for it to be built on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Stacks is like the smart contract layer. So it would be like which is kind of what Miami Coin is.
No, Miami Coin is the dollar, the coin for Miami,
mm-hmm.
which is I think used to transact, but the thing is nowhere you can use it. So I think people are building coins with no uses, with no uses.
Correct.
Like there's no incentive to use this to get this. Like I have no way of earning it to make sense for me to go out and use it because there's no use for it.
Miami Coin.
Yeah, Miami Coin and New York Coin.
Mm-hmm. And the NYC. Yeah. The only there's no way of earning it. There are ways of using it, but it's very
not enough.
And not.
I think what needs to happen is you need to make it easier to earn specific coins so you can use them and not be scared of using them.
We need more developers is what we need. More people making stuff.
You know, I think the problem is too, there's too many people making too much shit.
Well, the shit's gotta be made so that you can identify what is shit and what's not shit.
No. I'm saying there's too many developers making too much shit. Literally, like
just bad stuff.
No, it's not that bad. No. I'm saying bad stuff. Just too many things that either do a very similar thing or they just solves one issue of what that thing did not solve.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't it be better to be like, wait, I see this issue not solved. Can we try to fix that issue within this one?
Mm-hmm.
Like, why build another one to try to solve the entire issue?
Yeah. So you're saying just create improvements for...
Look, man, I think people are too racist in crypto. To their own crypto, to different cryptos. I think that's the issue here.
There's too much fascism in crypto.
Yes. They all want to play for their own separate team instead of playing, okay, let's join this one together. Team. Let's join that team.
Yeah. You need more communism in crypto then.
What? No. That's not what I'm saying here. I'm saying get the one that sucks a little bit, make it less sucky.
Mm-hmm. Oh, add value.
Yeah.
Capitalism then.
Yes. Don't go out and make another company to compete against it that still doesn't do it perfectly.
Mm-hmm. Just make it better.
Correct.
Get what there is out there and make it better.
I love ETH. I like Sol. Neither are perfect. Combine the two motherfuckers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, combine
the two motherfuckers.
So you make your own coin.
What? I wouldn't make my own coin. I'm saying
another coin.
Yeah, and then you get rid of the other two.
Oh, that won't happen.
That's the issue I see here.
That won't happen.
Of course, you can't because they're ran by separate nodes and everything else.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, that won't. Yeah, unless those nodes just stop. Unless those validators and those nodes just go offline.
It's the beauty and the things that
Yeah.
It's the beauty of crypto, and then the parts is like yeah. It's like when you see...
We need to get better at filtering out the noise. Filtering out the bull.
It's like with company buyouts.
Mm-hmm.
Like when Elon bought Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
Elon bought Twitter. Immediately, Twitter was no longer traded anywhere. It was gone.
It was gone. It's no longer on the exchange.
There's no more. There's no already.
He bought it from. So that's something that I don't really understand on the stock market.
What?
It is. You could have a stock in your exchange, and then someone just buys out the company, and they buy the stock from you.
Yep.
What if you don't want to sell it?
Doesn't work like that.
It's not yours.
Doesn't matter.
So it's not yours.
It's ownership. Who owns the most of it? And also, your voting shares are not valued the same. There are voting shares you don't have a vote, meaning you just own part of the company.
Different types of shares.
Correct.
Yeah, that is true.
If you owned, for an example, an 11%. Also, they have a board of directors who make this decision for you.
Yeah. True. No, you're right.
Sorry, buddy. If you don't want to do that, you have to own voting shares that are at the value of board of directors, and then it still put it to a vote.
You gotta up your stake, and then still.
I'm sure there was one guy who said no, but he didn't have the biggest holding of Twitter.
He might have had some influence on the selling price.
Also, he did overpay by 40% or 30%. Twitter was trading at $35, and he offered $52 a share.
That's wild.
So it's not getting confused. It's an amazing deal.
Yeah, it's a good deal.
You have to take that.
You
have to take that.
You gotta take it.
If I'm Elon, I hate life, and I'm an investor.
As a CEO and president, okay, time to sell.
There's no options there, bro.
No.
But I do, yeah. I feel like this was a lackluster episode.
Lackluster. You said very bleh.
I don't feel blah. I just said lackluster. It's not the same.
I don't know what lackluster means, William.
It means there was no shine to it.
Lackluster.
Yeah, Google.
Shine. That's what I'm doing. Lacking brightness or luster or vitality.
All three.
I've never heard the word luster.
Have you heard the word lust?
Yeah. William, since when did you become a vocabulary expert?
I'm not. I'm still stupid. Vocabulary is still not my strong suit. I can still not spell.
Lust. You can't.
I still can't spell to save my life, okay? I will never win a spelling bee. Unless it's for third graders. And then I still might lose.
An overwhelming desire or craving.
Oh, that's lust.
Intense eagerness or enthusiasm.
Correct. We're missing the
enthusiasm.
Eagerness and enthusiasm.
The enthusiasm. We're not historians.
We're not good at doing the story parts. It's not our best.
No, we just like having a good time. We provide information on a good time, not the blah blah.
Yeah, we realize this blah blah stuff not for us. We'll work on our.
You know. I think it's just really important to try to fill in that seat, and just have conversation.
So we're putting it out there. First guest. If you're interesting. Tell us what you do. Yeah. And you can maybe come in for a third seat.
Yeah, we got an open spot.
Open spot. Better yet, whoever DMs sometimes crypto first gets in.
Gets it. First person to DM us. We become first guest.
First guest. So whoever if you listen to this end, and this boring ass episode,
you deserve it.
You deserve it. If you listen to this entire end, you deserve it. We'll share our location. So you can pull up on us. Yep. So we can have an app. How did you hit yourself?
Ouch.
Fucking idiot.
Okay. I think that was a good way to end the episode.
I think it was a great way to end it.
Okay. Well,
please follow us on our socials. Sometimes Crypto.
Yep. That's exactly what I was getting at.
Alexander, William.
Your lovely host.
Lovely host. Well, next week episode will be more gooder.
More betterer.
More better. Wow.
Check out our YouTube channel.
Which has nothing on it yet.
Yeah.
We're progress, guys. I know we say that every month and every episode, but we do promise.
There's delays, you see.
There's a lot of delays.
And half of them
are they're on us. He says he doesn't know.
Half of them are just unexpected.
Nope, they're on us.
They're on us. They're all on us. Some of them are expected. Some of them were like, oh, well, we took this delay.
And then there are others who were like, damn it.
We're like, well,
where did this
come from?
Where did this U-turn come from?
Right. You're like, no, wait. What?
Nah, trust me, there's a few U-turns. I'll tell you about those U-turns later.
Well, thank you for joining us.
It's been another week of your favorite crypto podcast.
Sometimes Crypto.
The Unscripted Crypto Podcast.
Heyo.
Heyo.